Welcome to the Cine Garden podcast. Goodness gracious. I've been wanting to say that for a minute. It has been a while.
It has.
Yeah. So ad looked January 28th is the last time that we posted. And I take the full blame for not posting our podcast. I had planned out. As I should, yeah. I had planned out a podcast. And let me just explain what happened. This is around February. I think it was the next week. An ice storm hit our area and knocked our power out for 30 hours. So for 30 hours, we didn't have power and we had to go stay with a friend. All right. So that we could get some work done. But that was the same day that we were supposed to film the podcast. And so after that, it just was on the back burner in the back of my head. We never went forward with it. And
we fell off the wagon, man.
We fell off the wagon. The wagon left us in the dust.
But we're hopping back on, baby.
We caught up. We're hopping back on. And we have, I will be transparent. I wrote out an entire podcast. It didn't save to the notes. I don't know why. That's still a mystery. But we are kind of winging it in a way.
Yeah, we don't have a script. We don't have bullet points.
But we have some experience in talking about this.
Yes. So
we're not going to go there, but we are going to get you guys up to date on where we've been, because a lot has happened since we last talked to you guys.
Yeah, so much has changed since the last episode.
I turned 28.
Yes.
We also had our fourth wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Which that turned out to be a little bit of a situation.
Yeah, we tried to have, a nice celebratory dinner, and it just did not go to plan. We're not going to call any businesses out, but
look, I was looking fresh. I had it was very European style outfit on, mock collar, button down, skinny jeans.
Yes.
And Ad was looking great as always.
Yeah, I mean, that's a given.
Yeah. So. But anyway, we walk up and I say, we have a reservation at 6:45. And they were like, do you have a collar for your shirt? And I was like,
yeah, right here in my pocket.
I mean, right? I was like, am I not cool enough? And apparently not. They would not let us go in. I looked probably better than the entire restaurant, but yeah. I couldn't walk in there.
But I've never had that happen before. I understand places have dress codes.
Yeah, I get it, that it's a rule. I should have been thinking. I just wasn't thinking that my outfit wouldn't pass as
it was
cool.
That's your one button down that it's a mock collar, so it's not a real collar that flips over, right? All of your other button downs have a regular collar on them.
I just chose the mock collar.
But it's nice. It's not a casual shirt.
Yeah.
So it was just weird that they wouldn't let us in. So.
They didn't let us in. We go, and in the car I had a quarter zip pullover, and it had a collar, and so I put that on. Looked shabbier than what I was wearing, but it had a collar, so they let us in. And they had already canceled our reservation, so they didn't know where to put us, so they just put us in this back room next to the dishwasher.
Yeah, and you also did, it really was right next to
it was right next to the kitchen.
It was the kitchen, I guess.
Yeah,
but you didn't even mention when we walked in, they said they were looking at the computer for a minute, and so we're just standing there waiting for someone to take us to our table. And then they were like, would y'all mind sitting at the bar? We were like, are you freaking kidding me?
We're like, no. Nah, dude. We're here for our anniversary.
We made reservations.
No. Anyway, that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
But that did happen. It was.
We're never going back there.
That is true. I'm down to
I'm
not.
not going back there.
But anyway.
Break.
All right. Sorry about that. We had to take a quick break.
Sorry, that was a client.
Yeah.
So
Client comes first, man. You know, podcast comes second.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Anyway, we were just about to kind of go into what we've been up to. We did talk about my birthday. We did talk about our anniversary. And we also, at the beginning of April, we did a adventure shoot. Sorry, I had to make sure I was saying
story session. Well, listen, he kept calling it a styled shoot, and I was like, dude, it's not a styled shoot. This is what a styled shoot is.
I know the difference. It's just
you're gonna confuse people.
Okay. Anyway, an adventure session, a story session. We went to New York, and we shot this adventure session with a couple we have in New York. And so we went and did that. We have like a vlog that does behind the scenes. So go check that out. It is on our YouTube channel. You're just over there living your best life, like freaking.
Well, that stuff settles at the bottom.
It does. It is kind of weird.
I'm drinking some, if you're not watching, I'm drinking some like caffeine powder stuff, and it settles.
It's G Fuel.
It's called G Fuel, but I'm embarrassed to mention G Fuel. I don't know why. Dude, everybody already knows that we're freaking gamer nerds, and yeah.
Anyway, she's drinking some G Fuel, and she was just stirring it up while I'm trying to talk.
Sorry.
But anyway, we made a vlog about that travel, and it was really cool, so go check it out. We also did a styled elopement session with a couple of friends of ours who wanted to be our models. So we organized an entire thing. We did an Airbnb. It was this cute A-frame house. All right. We got some florals by our friend Christina. She put them together. They were really great.
I don't know why I'm making so much racket.
I don't know. And then our friend Emma went with us, Vixen Ruse. Go follow her on Instagram. She's really awesome.
Girl.
She's a great photographer. So we had a blast. It was really fun, and we vlogged that as well. So go check out the behind the scenes in that.
Yeah. So one thing that we wanted to make sure to let you guys in on is vlogs are going to be a regular thing around here. They're not just like a once in a while thing. Because things have changed so much in our business. We just want to let you guys in on like behind the scenes and on our travels and all the fun stuff that's happening. And we just like to document our lives too. Like I think it's really fun to look back on. So we will be posting a vlog every other week on this channel, and then of course the podcast every other week as well. So every Tuesday will be our posting day from now on. You can tune in on Tuesdays for a podcast and or a vlog. For sure.
And we've been kind of being general when we say like what's going on in our future. That's one thing that we kind of want. I want to build the anticipation up a little bit.
Yeah.
So January is the last time we talked to you guys, and January, if we're being transparent, was it was tough. It was the first month that we were both full time in our videography business that we have been running for 7 years. All right.
Yeah.
And so our first month both together, ads started in August. We've talked about that before, but I joined in January. This was our only source of income, and we had to figure out pretty quick that this was going to be our new lifestyle. This was going to be, how were we going to make this work? And it was, it was pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so a lot has happened since then. And do you want to kind of talk about what has happened?
Yeah. So like you said, January was a super challenging month for us. Because it was just adjusting to the unknown, I guess, and kind of figuring out that we have to work really hard, like harder than we ever have, because before, we were working full-time jobs and this was just like a side hustle. And so it was just we got an inquiry. Cool. Like we're going to shoot this wedding. And what happens when you're full-time is you don't just sit around and wait. I mean, sure, that is part of it. You are kind of watching your email and waiting for an inquiry to pop in, but you're also, I feel like the majority of our work, aside from editing and shooting, is being salesmen and like looking for opportunities, seeking out opportunities, whereas before we were just waiting for an opportunity to fall in our lap.
Right.
So
and that's something that when you go full time, you're not really thinking about.
You just, yeah, like I don't know, when we were just part-time doing this, we didn't dedicate any time to social media. We would just post each film that we made. We weren't making like teasers and like reels. Obviously, reels just became a thing like this year or last year or whatever. And like we just weren't, there was no consistency, and we weren't really learning about marketing and advertising.
Well, that's because we had other distractions. I was teaching for 5 years, and you were the director of videography. Yeah. So all of your projects were, your mind was focused on getting those projects done. Yeah. And we loved working with everyone that we worked with, before we went full time. It was really great. But we just didn't have the same mentality about our business. So, we had to figure out, how to get this going and how to really, start to navigate our thinking in that direction of this is our living. This is what we're doing now.
And aside from like trying to really establish consistent bookings and like consistent income and all of that, we were trying to make this giant shift in our business from being primarily local to Memphis and to really move into the destination wedding and elopement scene. And so obviously January was the first month of us really pursuing that shift. And a lot happened because I feel like in January, that month looked like us just trying so many different things to get our foot in the door. Yeah. And it kind of felt like nothing was happening. Like we felt like, we're doing all this and like nothing's happening. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of movement. It was a lot of us moving and trying to, I guess, figuratively like push through this threshold. Yeah, but it's like the door wasn't opening. Yeah. We weren't seeing the fruits of our labor yet. And we had some help. So we had a mentor in January. I don't know if we mentioned this before on the podcast, but Stanton Giles was our mentor for about 4 months. Yeah. Really awesome, super cool. Like we joined his Patreon. We were his first tier 4, which he had like a tier system. And we were his first tier 4 in the Patreon. Members. Yeah, members. Patreons. Patrons. Okay. That's what it's called. But anyway, we were able to have like one-on-one mentor sessions with him. And then we were able to contact him like daily if we needed to, or weekly. And it was just really beneficial because if we came to a certain like issue that we had, we could just seek advice for that like immediately. And he was able to shed a lot of, his knowledge and experience and share that with us. So that, was very beneficial to us in those first few months. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that really changed things for us. And, we actually talked a lot about our experience with him. We'll link the video. I guess we can put it actually on the screen. Like we can link it on this video. So sure. Stanton posted a video with us. We did a little, like Zoom recording session with him and kind of talked about our experience with being mentored by him. And you should definitely check that out. You can learn a lot about his Patreon and like how all of that works. But I just want to encourage those of you out there that are either new or you're trying to make a shift or you're just trying to grow. I definitely suggest getting a mentor. I feel like Stanton's program is unique in the fact that it's an ongoing mentorship. It's not like you're booking individual mentorship sessions and it's like you're dropping $400 to spend an hour and a half talking to this person, and then you don't ever talk again. You know, it's not like that. It's an ongoing relationship that you're building with someone that is actually like helping you through stuff as you're going through it. So I definitely suggest looking into that.
Yeah, that helped us out tremendously,
dude. Like crazy. And one thing that I've been thinking about, and I feel like I've like talked to you about this a little bit, and we haven't really, you know, done anything with it yet, but I would love to do mentoring eventually, like create some kind of program like that for people that are trying to get to a certain spot in their business. But in general, mentorships are huge. And honestly, I didn't even know that was a thing until this year. Like, I didn't know that people offered mentorships, you know? So
necessary for sure. But that was a large chunk of like what we dedicated our time to, was being involved in that community. And so that helped us out a ton. But Adalenne was saying that we had kind of we were trying to shift our business into this destination videography realm. Mm-hmm. And so what we started doing was we started sending just a bunch of cold emails to planners across the world. And that actually turned out to be super beneficial. So tell them how that kind of worked out.
Yeah. So lots and lots of emails, lots of Instagram messages. And I was very transparent and genuine in those messages that we sent. I didn't want to be like spammy. I didn't want to be annoying. I was actually like genuinely trying to offer value to the people that I was reaching out to, because obviously like I wanted to network. I wasn't like, hey, will you connect us with couples? You know, like I was like, hey, you know, this is who we are. This is what we're trying to do with our business. And this is where we're trying to go. And if there's any way that we can help you, we would love to do that if you would help us get to where we're trying to go. And so gosh, like so many emails.
I think it was 30 plus, right?
It was more than that, dude.
Like 50?
And it's an ongoing thing. I'm always doing. This is not like we only did this in January and then our business blew up. Like, no. Yeah. This is an ongoing thing, which we'll kind of get to that. But in January specifically, I freaking was grinding with the emails. Yeah. And nothing happened all throughout January, and I was like, this freaking sucks. I had a few people reply, and including someone that said, not interested, period. It's literally all they said. I had one person reply and basically kind of like used a scare tactic on me and said that like we couldn't work in other countries and what we were doing like wasn't right and so on and so forth. And I'm like, dude, there are destination wedding vendors based all over the place and they go all over the place. Yeah. Anyways, I digress from that. But my point is, we were putting ourselves out there and we were not seeing a return for a minute. And that feels like a scary place to be. It's not fun. Yeah. But then February happened, and February was this like really awesome, like it felt like all of a sudden we were just things like it was like a switch was turning on.
Yeah, it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, sure. It felt really good after feeling like pretty defeated and stuck for a minute.
Yeah, so a wedding planner replied from Switzerland, okay, said that she felt like she had the perfect couple for us. She was extremely helpful, such a kind soul. This person is. There we go with the G Fuel again. But anyway, very thankful for this planner reaching back out to us and connected us with a couple. The couple's from Seattle, and they are such a cool couple. We cannot wait to work with them. It's going to be super fun. They are getting married in Switzerland in August, and we've booked them. So we have our first destination wedding booked.
I remember getting off of that Zoom call with them.
And we were just like,
what? Did that just freaking happen? Yeah. Like, did that just happen? And what's so cool is that we had no idea what the couple was going to be like. You know, we're talking to a planner, and she's super nice, but we have no idea what the couple's going to be like. But then we get on the Zoom call and they're so freaking awesome. Like, they were just our vibe, you know?
For sure. Yeah.
So, sure.
I said for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes he does that and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like when people are like, sure, because it sounds like a disingenuous way to like agree with someone.
Sure.
Do you see what I'm saying? I freaking hate that. That's so annoying to me. Anyway. So that was the first like reward for our hard work.
And I reached out to an old friend. We just to kind of go through these a little bit quicker, just so we're not taking up, telling you every detail about every story. I reached out to an old friend. They're getting married in Long Island. And so we went and did that
story session
with them in April. And that's kind of like a leading up to their wedding film. It's like, and so we went and did that, but they booked us. And so now in June, we have a Long Island wedding. And then Stanton came in clutch and recommended us to a couple who, drumroll, is getting married in Iceland, dude. And so, Iceland has always been on my bucket list. Anytime Adalenne is like, hey, we should go on a vacation, I'm like, Iceland, because Iceland is so cool.
Iceland is sick.
I was a world geography teacher before, and I loved teaching about Iceland because it's extremely unique. It's really cool. It's dynamic, and it's just a beautiful place. So that was on my bucket list, and now we have booked. We're going to Iceland. We have booked. They're such
literally in a month.
Cool couple. All of our couples are just amazing.
Yeah.
Every couple that we've worked with all year has been amazing. And these couples, I just can't wait to go and travel with them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to go and they're down for anything. We're going to go shoot some epic stuff, and it's just going to be awesome.
Totally. I really do feel like as time has gone on with our business, the clients, the couples that we have had the opportunity to work with have become, they've become more and more like us. It's like, I feel like the more that we've really put our own like personalities into our business and we've really established our style, and like I feel like we've just become, I don't know, we're just all in with our business. And I feel like because of that, the clients that we're attracting are just the perfect fit for us. And totally. It's just been like so cool to like see that. Yeah. So from there we Instagram. So the other thing that we were really like diving headfirst into was Instagram Reels. Yeah. And just trying to create constant content. Yeah, being very consistent, because that's something we had never done before with our social media. And obviously, if you know anything about Instagram, it is all Reels now. That gets the most engagement. The algorithm is like pushing Reels out like nobody's business. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't want to like adapt to that. But I want to encourage you, do it. Please make Reels, especially like as a videographer. It's really an easy adjustment to make as a videographer, and Reels are really short form content. It's not that hard to create them and push them out. So that's what we did. We really leaned into Instagram Reels, and we saw something freaking incredible happen. We had one girl reach out in February, and she found us because she was scrolling through Instagram Reels, and with like Reels and TikToks, when whatever audio track the reel uses, you can click on the track and it'll take you to all the reels that have been made with that track. So she happened to really like this certain song, and she clicks on it, and then it takes her to all the reels, and she's scrolling through all these reels that are using that song, and she happens to scroll to one of our reels, which was like a teaser from a wedding that we had just shot in February. And and so she went to our profile and like fell in love with our style, and They had just gotten engaged. We set up a Zoom call with them. They booked us on the spot for a Cancun elopement.
Yes.
Like, so cool. And
Super cool.
She just
Really
found
cool
us
couple.
by chance through Reels. We had someone else find us through Instagram who they're getting married in Sequoia National Park in California.
If you don't know what that is, it's the redwoods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the really tall trees, super awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing that. And then last thing, I think this one's going to be the last one to cover. Those emails that she sent back in January, a planner reached out to us in April and she was like, hey, I'm an Italian, like I plan Italian weddings and I've got some clients. I had kept your contact info from your email back in January and I'd like to get on a call with y'all and kind of talk with y'all about the client that I have. And so we get on this Zoom call. Everything works out perfectly. And now we are filming a wedding at the Mandarin Oriental on Lake Como. Mm-hmm. It's going to be actually incredible.
Yeah. Like, Have
I said incredible a whole lot? Because I feel like that.
Yeah. Well, it is incredible. We are very blessed, but we're also very confident that, you know, the hard work that we're talking about and the putting yourself out there truly does like work. And you shouldn't like lose hope, you know, like you should keep putting yourself out there, even if it feels like no one's replying, people are ghosting me, people are saying no, like whatever. For every like 50 emails you send out, imagine just one, you know, falling into place and working out. You just don't know how like big of an opportunity you might get. Mm-hmm. And it makes it all worth it. So I don't know. I feel like I just can't get over that. Like someone held on to our email, like held on to our contact information for 3 months. And then when an opportunity came up, they got back to us. So
you never know. Yeah.
You never know. And it's never a waste to like take that time to put yourself out there.
What?
Cockroach!
Oh, dude. I thought it was going to be a spider, bruh. Cockroaches are fine, dude.
We got to get pest control.
Look.
The pest control lady's been texting me.
Okay.
She's been telling me to schedule and I've neglected it.
Well, we live in a 130-year-old house. And even though we did some renovations, like cockroaches are a thing, dude.
I just was not prepared for that to come in the corner of my eye.
My grandma lived in a 100-year-old house and cockroaches everywhere. Never bothered me. Now, if that was a giant spider, that'd be a different story. I'm not keen on those because I don't want them crawling on me. But dude, he's fine. He's fine. He's just living, dude. It's fine. It's okay.
Do cockroaches bite?
Anyway, look, no, they don't. I
don't want him to crawl up my leg. Can I do this?
No, he's way over there.
I'm scared. He's
all
fast.
Right, look, I'm going to go kill him. That's what we've been up to.
This is a great opportunity to take a break.
Yes, we're going to take a break. I'm going to kill this cockroach. All right, we're back. We kind of had to cut that short because it was a rather large...
They saw what happened. They saw.
I was just recapping. I did kill it. It's fine. I'm sorry that I killed it, but it's down the toilet now. And
I'm not sorry.
Anyway, it was dealt with. We kind of cut it short because of that. We did want to mention before we get into the next part that we kind of had to adapt. We've talked about that. One of the things that we didn't really realize we were going to have to adapt to was being... I did feel like we talked about this a little bit, being salesmen.
Yeah.
All right. I would say that the reason, I think there was a statistic we put on here a couple of episodes ago, probably years ago, that wedding videographers, photographers, just creatives in general, when they go full time with their business, a staggering amount or a staggering percentage of those people end up quitting within 3 years. And it's because there's so much that you have to do. There is a whole lot that you have to put into it. And one of those things is being a salesman.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, there is no sitting around and waiting to get business. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like there's a stigma around like sales and like, being a salesman. But it is part of our job, and there's a way to go about it that's not slimy, and you don't have to
just
be
a
annoying.
genuine.
I think it's really like recognizing where there's a need and being there to be like, hey, I can meet this need.
Right.
And like, I'll do it well.
For sure.
And so that's been a big lesson that we have learned over the last, I guess, 4 or 5 months since we've both been full time, and we've just been like putting everything we have into this, is that you have to be a salesman, and you have to show people why they need you. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to, like, Rob messages someone that he hasn't talked to in years that just got engaged, and is like, hey, I saw you got engaged. That's freaking awesome, man. Like, hey, we're wedding videographers.
So glad I reconnected with that person. I just hadn't seen them in a very long time, but really cool that, hopefully we're able to be their videographer.
What? We are their videographer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other person that I did.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's something that we have just started to do, is to just, when we see someone get engaged, instead of just being like, oh, cool, so-and-so's engaged, we're like, hey, like...
Dude, let us film your wedding. We want to film your wedding.
That would be so cool.
It would be so fun.
And I don't know, it's even cooler, like, for someone that you haven't seen in like years, you're like,
yeah, totally.
Wait, this is like a really cool opportunity to like reconnect with people. But
totally.
Anyways, the point is there, you have to stop sitting back and waiting for something to fall in your lap. I mean, sure, that does happen, and some people are really lucky, but I think there's a lot of reward for putting the work in and just being okay with being rejected and just putting yourself out there.
And I think initially you have to do this. Like, we've been doing this for 7 years.
Full time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be full time in your business that you own, you have to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, we've been wedding videographers for 7 years, and so we kind of feel like we've been doing this for so long. Like, we shouldn't have like these struggles or like this much trouble with it. But the reality is, like, we're full time now. Like, this is our thing. This is what we want to fill our schedule with. Like, this is.
Yeah. And when we were working full-time jobs and doing this on the side, we were only relying on, oh, so-and-so did their wedding, and so they found us that way. Like, we were relying on those referrals and like word of mouth, which is a huge part. And that's what, that's like an organic, thing that happens the longer you're in business. But, that only goes so far, especially if you want to get into destination work, or you want to just get outside of your local market in general. Like, you can't just sit back and hope that one day, like, someone finds you randomly. Like, that may happen, but it could be like years from now. So
yeah, but I don't know if I just said this, but it was in my head. I don't know if I said it, but your hard work that you put in now, like, it's gonna pay off, and your portfolio is gonna get where you want it to be, to where you don't have to be grinding so hard. Mm-hmm. You just, people know who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool too. But going off of that, we did have a couple of things that we wanted to talk about the second half of the podcast. We wanted to talk about things that we've accumulated in the past couple of months that are like necessities for our job. Like, whether it's editing or film, like on-site filming, we have a couple things. So do you want to start?
Yeah, totally. So a couple of physical things that I'll show you guys first, just some tools that we've picked up. So we shoot with Sony FX3s, and we started shooting with them at the end of last year. And one thing with Sony, unfortunately, is they do have a problem with overheating on occasion, especially if you're shooting on extremely like high settings as we do. Yeah. And especially if you're shooting outside in the heat.
Right.
And that's not a good problem. You don't want your camera to overheat during an important moment.
Right.
And we kind of unintentionally did an experiment. Rob ended up getting this small rig handle, which is actually for a stabilizer, but you can plop your camera on top here.
Yeah.
And hold your camera with it.
So long story short about me is I have grandpa hands. And so I am really shaky if I don't have like the right nutrition during the day. And so if it gets that time where like maybe we had an early lunch and it's going to be a late night, like a late dinner or something like that, I'm really shaky. And sometimes I get in my head about it. Like I notice that I'm shaking a little bit and then it gets that bad. So I ditched the stabilizer and I want to, work on being better handheld. And yet I do have that, I guess, some sort of condition, I guess. But anyway,
hypoglycemia,
maybe. But anyway, I got this for that reason, and it has helped extremely well with the overheating issue.
Yeah,
we did a shoot this past weekend. It was 90 degrees outside, and Ad was with the couple, and I had to get a couple things situated at the venue. They went in this field, and I had to catch up with them. While she was there, her camera overheated because her camera was in her hands. Which your hands get really freaking hot. And so your camera's getting really freaking hot.
If you're hot, your freaking hands are putting out some heat. And I didn't realize that. But Rob's camera never overheats. And mine always does. And so we realized it's because he has the handle and he's not putting all of his freaking body heat into the camera.
Yeah, so I'll have one hand on the lens and then one on the small rig handle. And it's saved me.
Changed the game.
Obviously, if I'm in extreme heat, then like the little heat, icon will pop up like, hey, you're getting close to overheating. But it's never like, at
shut
least
down.
this past weekend, it has not shut down, which is great.
So I just ordered one of these bad boys because I want one. But it also is good if you shoot handheld. It adds a little bit of weight and some stability while you're shooting. So that's definitely good. The other thing is Prism lens effects. They make little filters for your lenses that can create different effects, or they create like ND filters and things like that. And we actually picked up a few of them a while back, but this is actually the only one that I actively have been using. And it's like it's a split diopter. I don't know what the word is. It's something like that. Mm-hmm. But essentially what it is it's this little piece of glass just on one side and it turns. And so I use this during the reception. Usually when it's like a big party, like a lot of people dancing, a lot of like the DJ has a bunch of lights or the band has a bunch of lights and stuff like that, because it creates a really cool like light refraction effects. And it just is really cool. Like it's cool to have effects without actually adding them in post. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I really have been liking the shots that I've been getting with this. So I recommend picking up some of these. They have all different kinds. So check those out.
Yeah. Next thing that we definitely want to hit on is if you are editing any kind of film, if you are a filmmaker in any sort of way, you need to realize that you need some extra sauce on your project.
You need the sauce.
You need the sauce. You need a little spice in editing. And so we are great friends who are amazingly talented. Everything they put out, I'm like, dude, I get a little jealous sometimes
because they're just geniuses.
Yeah, they really are. So great. They're super nice and really cool couple. They created a sound effects pack. All right. It's called the Flow Sound Effects Pack by Multiply Media.
Yes.
All right. It's on their website. Go cop it right now.
Yeah. It's in the description. But
pause the video. Go get it.
But just to talk about it for a minute.
We're actually, hold on. Before you get started, we're going to play a sound right now. Bro, that was
epic.
That was insane.
Epic.
Imagine that in like your film.
Yeah. Imagine what that could do. Like,
imagine.
You're not getting bookings.
Sprinkle a little bit of
man. It'll pick up you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop. I'm not very good at that. But a little bit about the sound pack. We picked it up as soon as it was released, and dude, First of all, if you don't use sound effects in your videos, let me just tell you, audio is it is 50% of your film.
Yeah.
So it's, you have the music, which is one level, and then you have like the audio from the day, like people, giving speeches or saying their vows or whatever. That's one level. But then your sound effects add this layer that literally it brings your viewers into the film. It makes people feel like they're there. So
Agree.
When you have your environmental sound effects, that's what like makes someone feel like I actually feel like I'm there. But then there's things like transitional, like whooshes and risers and impact hits and things like that. And those are the things that when you go and sit in, the cinema and watch a Hollywood film, those are the things that make you like feel what's happening on the screen.
Yeah.
We need that in our wedding films. We need people to feel something when they're watching them, and that is what these sound effects do. And I'll also say we have had subscriptions to websites with sound effects and all of that, and those are great and all, but let me just say this sound effects pack has things in it that I've never been able to find on these websites that we are subscribed to. Things that I'm like, I wish I could find something like this. Multiply Media was like, here you go.
Boomer and Sarah made this stuff.
They made it.
They spent months traveling. They gathered these sounds, like ambient sounds, nature sounds. They produced sounds physically and created this pack. There are tons of them.
Yeah.
There are tons of sounds.
It's so cool. We use them in every film now.
Yes, I open it every time I open Final Cut. Sound effects pack right there.
We have them there because you're not going to make anything without them. You're just not.
You're just not. It's not going to be the same. But definitely check them out. All right.
Yes, you have got.
We're going to link it in the description.
We're not just plugging this because they're our friends. We're plugging this because we freaking love these sounds.
Yeah.
So that's it for that.
What else?
And then, we wanted to mention Stanton has released a LUT pack, and we have been.
Wonderluts.
Huh?
I just said the name.
Oh, Wander.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those LUTs are amazing. They are beautifully they're beautifully subtle. They're not too much, and you can layer them with other LUTs. And so you're not going to throw it on and be like, oh, it's too much. I feel like I've downloaded so many LUTs that I put it on there and I'm like,
bruh,
what are we doing? Like, that's way too much.
Bruh.
These LUTs are like the perfect balance, and they're just really easy to work with. And so I have been layering those with Forestry Films native LUTs. I love those LUTs as well, so definitely I recommend those for sure. But those are only released periodically. Stantons are out right now, all the time. I don't know if that's going to change, so you might want to get them now. He might take them away. I don't know.
Who knows?
But the other thing we should mention is
yes.
For people that are patrons, they actually get a discount on those LUTs. I actually think there's a tier that you get them for free. I can't remember.
I think it's tier 2 and above.
Is it really? That's a really freaking good deal.
Go check out his Patreon page.
Yeah, you need to check out his Patreon because not only can you get like the mentorship like we had, but there's a Discord community, which we're up in there all the time talking to people, and like you can ask questions, and there's live streams, there's video content that isn't on his YouTube channel. So there's a ton of valuable stuff on there. So definitely
talk about Film Convert.
Oh yeah, Film Convert. So I actually started using this in the fall, but now I feel like I've really gotten in the groove with using it, and I really like it for our films. Film Convert is basically a plugin that you can put into your editing software. I think that they make it for Premiere, Final Cut, and DaVinci. I don't know about other editing softwares, but it's a plugin. You put it in there, and then I usually use it at the very end of my editing process after I have done all of my coloring. I've added my LUTs. I've done any like color correction. I will then go in and add Film Convert on there. And what that does is you can plug in your camera's like color profile and everything. And then it has all of these presets essentially that look like certain types of film. So it essentially makes your footage look as if it has been shot on film, and you can adjust, the coloring, you can adjust the grain, all of that. It has a bunch of things that you can adjust, and I feel like that has added so much to like our coloring. Like I feel like our films just look so much better. It's like taking them up a notch, and it's subtle, but like I definitely notice it, and I think that it's just changed the game. So you should definitely get that. It's like a one-time license that you can buy. It's not a subscription or anything like that. So yes, those are all of the tools that we wanted to share with you guys, and we'll have everything linked in the description so you guys can go and check everything out.
Yeah. Last thing that I wanted to do, we're kind of running out of time, but I did want to talk about some other podcasts. I feel like people don't, on their podcasts, they don't want other people listening to other podcasts.
Yeah.
You can't listen to any other podcast but this one.
Just us.
And guess what? Another one might not be out for another 3 months. So you can't. No. We have some suggestions for other podcasts.
Anyone can say that, it's not us. You can't listen to any other podcast except for the one that only comes out every 6 months.
That's not true. We did just mention our schedule, which every other Tuesday
we have a schedule now, so
is going to be the podcast, and every other Tuesday is going to be a vlog. But we have a few podcasts. If you're not listening to How to Film Weddings podcast, what are you doing? We didn't know what we were doing in the fall. We discovered them and have been listening to them ever since. They have some great tips, tricks. What else?
Tips, tricks,
goofs, gaffs.
They have amazing, super talented videographers as guests all the time that share so much knowledge. And I've learned so much from that podcast, from accounting to marketing to using Instagram, all of it, to booking destination weddings. I've learned so much. So I definitely recommend that one. I also want to mention Forestry Films has a podcast. I think it's called The Act of podcast. And I love David because I feel like when I listen to that podcast, I feel like he always makes me feel like a normal human being, and it makes me feel like everything's going to be okay. And I don't know, like he has
that we're all going through the same thing.
Yeah. He has an extremely like humble spirit about him, and he's very encouraging, and all the guests that he's had so far have been the same way. And not only is it like very educational, but it's just encouraging. So if you just need like a breath of fresh air and you're feeling discouraged in your business right now, I would recommend that podcast because it's just going to lift you up. So
yeah. Also, if you have questions about other podcasts, like what other podcasts maybe that you didn't mention, like I'm sure that we can think of some that we're not thinking of right now. I think there was a little bit of a teaser of a podcast between Multiply Media and Films by Stanton.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Be on the lookout.
They didn't say anything, but they posted something.
They posted a little reel of something.
Yeah, it looked like they were filming a podcast. We legitimately, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
So we're not trying to like hint at anything.
No, we don't.
But
be on
y'all
the lookout
might want to stay tuned.
Cool.
If you're not part of the Destination Wedding and Elopement Videographer Facebook page, get on that giant, because that if they come out with something, that's where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But sure. Yeah, there was another podcast that I wanted to mention. Forever Curious Films. They're UK based couple, I believe. And they just started a podcast. It is called Sound is Story. I have not listened to it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Mm-hmm. They're really talented videographers, and I believe that podcast is focused around sound, and that's why it's called Sound is Story. So we'll link that in the description, and you guys can check that out.
Totally. Well, during this podcast, I hope that you got some info that you can use for your own business, or you were entertained. We're one less cockroach, in this household.
Yeah.
We caught you up on where we're at and what we've been doing and where we've been. The podcast was always on the back of our mind, but we just never really got around to it. And now we are. We're here.
We're
so
here.
Thank you for being
back.
here And yeah, we're back. So we've enjoyed this. We hope you enjoy this. And we'll see you in the
2
next
weeks.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Oh, wait. That's a fake bye. We are on YouTube.
Oh.
We are on Apple Podcast. We're on Spotify. So go check it out.
Yeah.
All right. That's where we're posting the podcast.
We just wanted to mention, like, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, I wish I could listen to this like while I'm on a road trip or whatever, you can. We're on Spotify and Apple. So
also comment, like, hit the like button. You know what really stumps me? I'm getting into something we just said bye, but you know how easy it is to just hit the like button? It's really easy.
It's so incredibly easy.
I'm just saying, dude, why are we in this like thing where we're like,
I'm not gonna like this.
You know what? I'm not just gonna scroll down and hit the like button. I mean, what is it off your back? Literally nothing. You're not paying anything to like the video, but it helps us out a lot. It really doesn't help us out a lot. But
more importantly, I would love if you guys commented and introduced yourselves and talked about like your business and where you're at and what you're doing, and
subscribe if you want.
Do you have a dog? I'd like to see a photograph of it.
Can you comment photos?
No, I don't think you can. But I'd still like to see a photograph of your dog.
Anyway, guys, do all the things and watch us in 2 weeks, and just say what up in the comments, because we're
lonely over here.
We are.
We're just lonely little nerds.
We're not super lonely. All right, guys, on that note, we will see you later, dude.
People listening with that pause, they're probably like, what? Is it over? It really is over now. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.